From the creators of Relevant Magazine, this is the Relevant Podcast.
It's Friday, July 26, 2019. Almost the end of summer. This is crazy. It's the Relevant Podcast. I'm your host, Cameron Strang, and here with me in our Orlando studios on the ones and twos, our illustrious brother, Chandler Strang.
Hi.
I'll come back to our other studio guest in a second. On the Skype line from Loverland, Virginia, Jesse Carey.
Hello, hello.
All the way from Nashville, Tennessee, Tyler Huckabee.
Howdy, y'all.
And sitting in for the show today, here in our Orlando studios, about 5 feet from me, doing office camp, my son, Cohen Strang.
Hi, everybody.
We told Cohen before the show, bring the energy. And that was his version of bringing the energy. I said, if you're going to be on mic, you got to have the pep. All right, well, we have a great show in store for you today. Coming up later, fresh off his appearance on The Late Show this week, actor Jamie Bell joins us. We're going to talk to him about his new movie called Skin, which hits theaters today.
Yes.
Very exciting to have him on the show today. You know, once again, our pipeline from national late night television to the Relevant Podcast.
That's right.
It's
The day that I was privileged enough to speak to him, he went to go visit Stephen Colbert that evening. And I can't help but think my interview prepared him for his Late Show appearance. It's also an A24 film, which they are, you know, probably the most prestige studio around right now. So it's a really great interview. It's a heavy film, but I was really excited to talk to him. You know, he was just saying he's on Autry. He was just saying Rocket Man too.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. He's a real A24 is a real rock star. I feel like they're kind of the stars of their own movies. Like if you see the A24 logo on there, you're like, oh, I'm interested.
Okay.
I'm automatically on board with what they're going to try.
If people don't know his name yet, he wasn't the Rocket Man.
No. He played the manager
of Sir
Elton John.
Elton John's manager.
Exactly.
That's right. All right. Well, Jamie Bell is coming up later. We don't normally have a show note in my rundown that like this one, but it says as a note to me, banter : Chandler needs to address something about Olive Garden. So before we move the show along, I have a very important show note that we need to address. Apparently, Chandler needs to get something off his chest about Olive Garden.
Chandler, the floor is yours. And I want to say this real quick to prep this. Listeners, prepare to be shook, because I was. Like, I feel betrayed. I feel weird. I feel uncomfortable. I feel a lot of complicated emotions. Chandler, the floor is yours.
Basically, people on Twitter were saying that they wanted me to talk more. And I was like, look, if you all want to talk about Olive Garden, then I'm down.
I thought you were a Chili's guy.
I mean,
that's okay.
What I said was Chili's or Olive Garden, of course.
No. There's not Chili's or.
I feel like we've already gotten through all we can with Chili's.
I will say this. June 16th every year is a special day in the Strang household. It's the birthday of Chandler Strang.
Oh, yeah.
So, once a year, we're all forced to have a family dinner or a family lunch. And every year, the parents say, they want Chandler to feel like part of the family. They want him to feel valued and loved.
I get to choose.
And so he gets to choose where we go. And I'm thinking, we don't get a dinner anymore because he's going to do fun stuff with his friends. So we get a lunch. So we get a birthday lunch for the family. And this year his birthday fell on a Sunday, which happened to be Father's Day. And which my dad says Chandler was the best Father's Day present he ever got.
Oh, wow.
And
It's getting
I don't know if he feels that
emotional.
way anymore, but
Getting emotional.
very emotional day for the Strang family.
But to be fair, he got a really nice crock pot this year. And so, I mean, though technically that's number one because you should taste the Brunswick stew that bad boy can make in about. It only takes about 9.5 hours, and you get yourself a heck of a stew. You're an okay son, but man, this stew is delicious.
So this year the question was, it's a Father's Day. It's Father's Day. So I'm a father. I got proof right here. He's a father, but no, Chandler gets to pick where we're going to lunch on Father's Day / his birthday. And what does he choose to celebrate 3/4 of the people that are going to be there, adults around the table? He chooses Olive Garden.
Of course.
And I'm like, what?
Let's talk breadsticks.
What?
Chandler
talk
has
salad.
entered into a torrid love triangle involving him, Chili's, and Olive Garden. Just when I thought the nation couldn't handle another high-profile scandal, we have the world's biggest Chili's fan, one Chili's maybe only black card holder, someone who has actually been sent one-of-a-kind custom Chili's streetwear. Yeah, this is all true. This is so like a champion of the Chili's brand, someone who Chili's, the actual organization Chili's, regularly reaches out to.
Yeah.
Chandler has turned his back on them and has entered into a relationship with Olive Garden publicly. Just when I thought too many scandals, the nation can't handle anything. Chandler, do you read the news? What are you doing? We can't I'm picturing the only way we can redeem this is if there is like a Bachelor style romance show.
Yeah, that's what I
But
think.
instead of eligible bachelorettes, it is chain mall restaurants. Ruby Tuesday, I had a great time with you. Your fantasy dessert.
Ruby Tuesday. Oh, man.
Ruby
That salad
Your
bar.
fantasy dessert, which was 4th of July theme for summer with strawberry shortcake, was delicious. But my heart belongs somewhere else, and that's where you run off into the sunset with Olive Garden. I would watch that show. Applebee's. You've slidered your way into my heart.
His suitors. His suitors are Chili's, Olive Garden, Applebee's, Ruby Tuesdays.
But then there's some outliers like O'Charlie's and Chevy's, places that aren't doing so great. Somehow a Quiznos snuck its way in there. I mean, the show's all over the place.
So you're saying fast food is on the table too, not just casual dining.
No, it's gotta be casual dining.
Chi-Chi's, which
Yeah.
isn't even business.
Yeah.
Chi-Chi's isn't even business, but there's a Chi-Chi's involved. Chandler has his heart pulled in a million different directions.
Right.
You've got, a bloomin' onion who's trying to woo his heart, and you've got, steak sliders.
I will say, in years past, when his birthday did not fall on Father's Day, we would meet for the family Chandler birthday dinner, and usually at the Altamont Springs Chili's.
That's true.
Yeah, I remember that, like, 2 years ago.
That's right. It's the only time I eat at a Chili's is his birthday.
Yep.
And
I think that's the only time I really have eaten there.
right, exactly. And then
This is my first time
Cohen,
eating
you're
there
missing
when it was
out,
his
man.
birthday.
and then this year, Cohen's on Father's Day going, well, where are we going to the family lunch?
I was guessing
and I said,
Chili's.
Yeah, and I said Olive Garden. He goes, what's that?
Yeah.
And I said,
I obviously knew what it was,
no.
but I thought you were talking about Applebee's for some reason.
But then when we got there, you said, I've never eaten at an Olive Garden.
Yeah, I
and
never
we told
have.
the waiter that,
Except-
and the waiter looked at us with disgust, just
Yeah, and
complete
he's like,
He
shock.
was more just surprised.
He said, you smell like
shook
a
when he
Chili's
heard that. Just
family.
like,
He was shook.
What?
Like, how have you never eaten at an Olive Garden? I was like, because I'm a good parent. Because it's been 9 years.
I take issue with that. That's an important part of the childhood experience. Maybe not like a positive one, but it teaches resilience.
It's one of the only places where you can get a week's worth of carbs in an appetizer. It's very, very impressive. I'm picturing Chandler's rose ceremony when he's like, Outback, please come forward. And he's like, I hate to say this, but it's not going to be a good day, mate. And then he sends Outback away. Away from me. Away from me. And it's just, I think ultimately the last episode is going to just be Chili's and Olive Garden. But now we know who has your heart, Chandler. We know. And it's
So has it
devastated
shifted
us
over to
all.
Olive Garden?
Well, I mean, you can't eat at Chili's every night. You know what I mean?
You literally can with your
all they've done for
card
you.
that they sent you.
You could. That's true. That's true. I mean, to be honest, I recently moved to the Orlando area. Lived up
He used
north
to
a
live
little
in the
bit.
suburbs, and now he's in the
I
city.
was right down the street from a Chili's. I moved to Orlando. There's not a Chili's anywhere near the main Orlando area.
No, there's not at all.
A good
That is
15-minute
Chili's is
drive.
a
There's only
strictly
Olive Gardens.
a suburban and airport sort of restaurant.
Yeah.
You know,
Which is a disappointment for sure. So, Chili's, if you're listening, consider putting one in Orlando.
I think out of all the restaurants, like Bennigan's is the one that leaves night one. It's like, this isn't for me. I made a mistake by coming on this show. I'm compromising everything I'm about by being here. Bennigan's is a family institution. We are an after church on Sunday afternoon type of joint. I don't need to be on this salacious show.
You're saying Bennigan's Brady Toops out early on.
Bennigan pulls the tubes.
They pull the tubes, and they're alpha. They take control of their own destiny. Where Chandler's love.
Where Red Robin's the one who's, acting in a way that gets the Twitter all abuzz that night. Do you see what Red Robin was doing on the show last night? Who does Red Robin think Red Robin is? Yeah.
Red Robin.
I've got a lot of problems with Red Robin.
Okay,
and I can't really articulate them.
Here's my issue with Red Robin.
No.
Have you ever eaten there?
I think I have
You
once.
have not. You would know it if you have.
It's a burger place.
Here's my issue with Red
Burgers.
Robin. I can't go there. I've been there twice in my life. The unlimited fries situation,
It's a problem.
I would be 700 pounds if I ate there more than once every 5 years. I consume thousands of calories at one visit to Red Robin. Because the burger has like eggs on it. I mean, it's like the burger is a foot tall,
It's
and you got
huge.
baskets upon baskets of unlimited fries.
Yeah.
Come on, for $8.
And there's usually like fries on the burger, or some sort of fried situation on the burger, like a fried onion ring or little straws or something like that. And I'd say they do all that work, and it's still just not a very good meal. I think Red Robin, I'd send Red. I don't know where you're at on this, Chandler. This is your show. I don't mean to impose my own will over it.
Oh, no, please.
If I could whisper into your ear, send Red Robin away. You can do better.
I see like a mid-season love affair with Uno Pizza that ends in heartbreak for both parties as well. Like,
Pizzeria Uno. Pizzeria Uno famously, if you look up the nutrition ratings, facts of national restaurant menus, Pizzeria Uno has the highest calorie entree in America.
Yeah.
How many?
Cool.
Is it? What is it? Do you remember? Some sort of like Italian pasta thing.
No, it's a deep dish pizza.
It's a deep dish,
which will lead to the
personal
line. Chandler says the depths of my love are deeper than a Chicago style, and you know what that means. It ends badly, heartbreak. It's horrible.
Okay, actually, I stand corrected. I have the 15 highest calorie restaurant meals in America right in front of me.
Okay.
The Buffalo Wild Wings cheese curd bacon burger.
Oh, wow.
Cheese curd bacon burger has 2,000 calories, 53 grams of saturated fat, and 4,700 milligrams of sodium. Outback Steakhouse, herb roasted prime rib. Sounds healthy. You get a little baked potato and side salad.
But it has a ton of
2,400 calories. More than a day's worth of calories in one meal.
That's what Ron Swanson calls
Have that
brunch.
for all 3 meals.
IHOP cheeseburger omelet with pancakes, 2,000 calories. Shake Shack double
a cheeseburger omelet.
I don't even understand that
This
one. Like
is
do they cut up a cheeseburger?
crazy. Shake Shack, a double smoked shack burger, just the burger, no fries, nothing else.
I've
A
had
Shake
that.
Shack burger,
I promise you that.
2,240 calories, 55 grams of saturated
Most
fat.
of these are burgers, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Which is why,
That is interesting.
Sonic pineapple upside down master blast shake. So just a shake from Sonic, 2,020 calories.
Wow.
Dave and Buster's carnivore pizzadilla. It's like a quesadilla, but it's a pizza with meat on it. 2,000 calories.
Pizzadilla. Okay. That's just an abomination. That's not right.
It looks like an
That is
abomination.
not right.
that.
No.
And Red Lobster. You forgot Red Lobster in your
Oh, yeah.
competition, by the way.
Red Lobster still, feels like a halfway house between fast food and a real casual dining spot.
So Red Lobster, create your own 3 shrimp dishes. You can do like your own combination. You get the jumbo coconut shrimp. You get the Walt's favorite shrimp, and then linguine Alfredo, French fries, Caesar salad, cheddar bay biscuit. 3,600 calories, almost 2 days worth of calories. That's insane.
That's crazy.
A lot of butter. There's a lot of butter involved in these.
Applebee's coming in strong with their 4 cheese mac and cheese with honey pepper chicken tenders. 1,830 calories. Johnny Rockets Bacon Cheddar Double Burger. There you go. Another burger, 3,500 calories for that. Chili's
Wow.
Ultimate Smokehouse Combo at Chili's, 1,270 calories. That seems like it's
Wait, the
light.
list is
Yeah, that's
still going?
Still going. I'm done now. I'm
But
done.
the list
You know
is
what?
still going.
Go and walked away and came back, and we're still on the list.
Pizzeria Uno did not make this list, so maybe they've gotten a little healthier. I don't know.
Picked up their game. Yeah.
I mean, are they
Maybe
still
just
in
a li-
business?
You know, maybe
Yeah,
just a
Uno's
little
is
bit.
in business.
I've not seen an Uno's in years.
There's an Uno's on International Drive down
okay.
across from a Red Robin, actually.
Okay.
A murderer's row of delicacy.
Yeah, that's actually where the first season of A Taste of Love with Chandler Strang was filmed.
Taste of
And,
love.
uh,
Taste of love.
It was a big hit.
We need to make
Big
that.
hit.
We must make that.
And there's a big old Applebee's down there. There's a big old Bahama Breeze, an Olive Garden,
Yeah,
a huge Olive Garden down
The
there.
tourist ones, yeah.
Yeah, all the touristy restaurants on International Drive in Orlando is the locale of A Taste of Love with Chandler Strang. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
This show is good, and I think we should do this, and we should make it happen. But I feel like Chili's comes out of the gates with a strong lead over these other restaurants, just because they've really courted your favor.
Oh,
in the
yeah,
past.
for sure.
There's an episode about halfway through the season. All the restaurants turn on Smoky Bones, and it's a lot of drama, a lot of infighting, a lot of just saying horrible things about Smoky Bones. And Smoky Bones stood up for their values is the problem, and a lot of these other restaurants, we're shaming them for it. And it's a good show. It's a weird, it's a disturbing show, actually. And I'm glad it was pulled off the air before, after several $100,000 were invested.
It would be a perfect kind of reality TV competition for the Food Channel. I mean,
Yeah.
the people who love
Actually,
food
yeah.
would watch the Food Channel. It's the sort of dating show that the food fans would want.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like
Taste of Love.
Taste of Love.
All of season 2 is only at Chili's. All of season 3 is only at Olive Garden.
Only at Olive Garden. I like it.
Oh.
All right, so what's your Olive Garden gripe? Why do I have a show note that Chandler has something to say about Olive Garden?
His love for Chili's has been a staple of the show for years. And he's not just betraying his beloved Chili's. He's betraying us all. And I personally am hurt. I will not stand for this, Chandler. And how dare you, sir? How dare you? Chili's, I know you're listening, and I will take the mantle. Send me a black card, and I will proudly wear the crown. I will proudly, and I won't hurt you
Chili's
the
by
way
any
the way that Chandler has with Olive Garden. No, thank you.
Olive Garden.
Yeah.
The show note you added was the fact that Chandler has the audacity of eating at an Olive Garden. That was the show note.
No, I mean,
Listen.
I was like, hey, if you guys want to talk about Olive Garden, I'm down to chime in.
And I said, what? Why would we even talk about Olive Garden? This is a Chili show.
I mean,
Hold on
this
here.
is a Chili's household.
Why did you say? Did you mean Chili? Did you, for some reason, say Olive Garden, but you meant Chili's? I don't. Why would you talk about Olive Garden? I don't understand, Chandler.
Jesse wrote down in the show rundown, Chandler needs to address something about Olive Garden.
I'm glad. I'm glad we cleared the air with it.
I mean,
because
for a place named Olive Garden, not that many olives.
Not
Just
that many
saying.
olives.
Not that many
saying.
olives.
No
yeah.
garden.
No garden.
No garden.
Yeah, to speak of.
Yeah,
No.
it's all about lies. It's
Since
an
it's called
empire
Olive
built
Garden,
on
I feel
lies
like
and
they
heartbreak.
should have when you first walk in, there are 2 rows
Yeah.
in front of the doors, but then in the middle that's separating it, it's just like this tiny little garden.
Yeah, a little path, you can pick your own
That'd be
olives.
kinda
Kind of like back in the day when you go into a seafood restaurant, there'd be a tank of the lobsters. You say, I want to
Red
eat
Lobster.
that one. I want to eat that one right there.
What?
You walk into an Olive Garden, you walk through a nice vineyard of olives on your way into the front door, and you
Yeah.
pick out the olives you want to eat. I like it.
Yeah.
And then
They
you can
should
just
do
order some
like they used to do with
pizza and
Cracker
pour
Barrel,
it
where they
on.
just give you handfuls of buckets of peanuts that you can show. I think they should just have buckets of
That's
olives when
not-
you walk in.
that
You can just
never
grab a
happened
handful of
at
olives,
Cracker
pop
Barrel.
'em,
That
put the
never
seeds on
happened.
the floor. I mean, that's gross, but it's
You're
also
thinking-
part of the charm.
You're thinking of a Roadhouse, a Logan's Roadhouse,
I
or
am thinking
Texas
of a
Roadhouse.
Roadhouse.
A
Yeah.
Cracker Barrel would never stand for
Also,
peanut shells all over the
Cracker
floor.
Barrel, not many crackers. or barrels. Well,
That's true.
a few barrels.
There are barrels in the gift shop.
Yeah.
That is true.
Cohen, you
They're
keep pulling
no
at this thread.
crackers.
You're going to bring the whole industry crashing down.
Because guess what? I got news for you. No one named Logan has ever worked at a Logan's. It's actually on the books. I can't do it because it causes too much confusion. And the accounting software goes berserk if you put a Logan in that spreadsheet. It gets all confused with the name of the restaurant. They can't have them. You know, lobsters are the only animal that it really works to be able to pick your own alive and then eat it a short time later. Imagine if you
It's
order the lamb
disgusting.
or something.
Yeah.
That's like, you just feel weird. I'm glad they're doing it with basically big bugs.
Or
you know?
chickens. Yeah. Have
Yeah.
a bunch
Even
of
a
chickens
chicken.
running around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
that's-
not-
Oh, that would be
again,
terrible.
again.
That'd be terrible. All right. Well, that'll do it for your Olive Garden hot take. Stay tuned. Up next, it's the hot list.
It's always you taking me for granted, always you that plays me as the fool. And if I know it, if I know it, if I know it, if I know you ripped it apart. Oh, I wish I didn't get your name tattooed on my heart. Oh, I wish I didn't get your name tattooed on my heart.
You're listening to Bishop Briggs. The song is Tattooed on My Heart. At the beginning of the podcast, you heard Elenium and John Bellion with Good Things Fall Apart. Okay, it's time for...
It's the hot list. The hot list. It's sizzling.
That is not appropriate to play with a 9-year-old.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised.
Cohen, what do you think? What's your assessment of Uncle Chandler's hot list jingle that he made?
I don't care.
He doesn't care. Does not care.
Indifferent. That's
The
fine with me.
producers of A Taste of Love called. They want to use the "It's Sizzling" for what is their equivalent of the Fantasy Suite episode, in which Chandler sits down and eats 10 desserts in one night. It's
A Taste of Love, it's sizzling is the tagline. It's sizzling.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, it's time for the hot list. Coming in this week, number 5, the latest Sunday service by Kanye took a very Jesus-y turn this week. This past Sunday, VU Church pastor Rich Wilkerson Jr. was invited to preach a sermon at Kanye's weekly Sabbath gathering. Up until now, Kanye and the Kardashians haven't been able to really fully articulate the mission behind the Sunday services. In an interview with Jimmy Kimmel, Chloe said, we have so many friends who maybe feel a little too judgmental when they go to church. When they come here, they feel so free and safe. It's what everybody says, and you have a great time. It's a beautiful way to start your week. But Kim added, there's no sermon, there's no word, it's just music. But this week, Rich Wilkerson Jr. preached an 11-minute sermon about the exclusivity of salvation in Jesus and even led those gathered in a prayer of repentance and acceptance of Christ. We've talked about Sunday services here on the show several times. And as we've discussed, Kanye has said that he wants the services to evolve to possibly incorporate more than just music and art. He said, we just got to take some time and keep growing and make it better. Well, Rich is close friends with Kim and Kanye. He officiated their wedding a few years ago. So it makes sense that he would be invited to speak. Here's a clip of Rich's sermon.
God is here, and He loves you. Today, He has good plans for you. But the scripture says, trust in the Lord with all your heart.
Yes.
Lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge Him, and He will make your paths straight. Today, I wonder if you've never put your trust in Jesus. Would you take the opportunity to surrender your life over to His? John 3:16 says, for God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, that whosoever, that means all of us, whosoever believes in Him shall not perish, but have eternal life. The next verse is even better. For God did not send His Son into the world to condemn the world, but to save the world. If God wanted to condemn you, He would have sent a condemner. But He wanted to save you, therefore He sent a Savior.
You know, I thought this was particularly interesting because I feel like a lot of the criticism of the Sunday services from the limited clips that have been made available, or the people who, went to go see it when Kanye did the special one at like Coachella, kind of the refrain was it like sort of dances around churchy stuff, but it's mainly just kind of music and entertainment. And there's not a whole lot of direct Jesus stuff, where this is like, I mean,
It's almost like faux spirituality. It's about light and color and feeling more than it is actually like God's presence, and that was really the criticism, is like, it's a counterfeit spirituality. It's like, I want to feel like church without having to actually like do anything, that is, you get the criticism, you get it. So the fact that Rich came and brought like such a Bible 101 kind of gospel message was an interesting shift.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
Coming in at number 4 this week on the hot list, Ricky Gervais and Stephen Colbert showed how friendly a conversation about faith and atheism can be. The British comedian was a guest on The Late Show this week to promote his stand-up comedy tour called Supernature. Explaining the meaning of the title, Ricky said that he doesn't need to believe in, quote, unicorns and angels to be moved by the natural world and complicated creatures like an octopus. Colbert dug in to ask him more about his own personal beliefs and to open up about his faith and his own doubts. But even though the duo maintain opposite beliefs, unlike some interactions between Christians and humanists, the conversation was thoughtful, respectful, and even funny. Here's a clip.
You talked about unicorns and angels, okay? Yeah. You said unicorns and angels, we've got the octopus. Yeah. Now, are unicorns and angels really the same to you? Because is magic and faith the same to you? Because they're different things to me.
No, I don't believe in anything without evidence. That's it. That's all they have in common.
Okay.
And I have no problem with faith or spirituality. I feel it in different ways. I feel it when I see nature.
What is it you feel?
An awe. It's amazing that we're here.
So you don't have control over it, right?
No, I don't believe someone made it. That's all the difference between me. We know how amazing nature is and how good people are and how amazing dogs are. Oh, dogs are amazing. I just don't think, I just don't think there was a will to it being.
Yeah.
That's all. Yeah. That's the only difference. And I absolutely have no problem with faith or anything like that.
I have a problem with magic. I don't have a problem with faith. I mean, I have a somewhat anemic faith. It comes and goes. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I have a firefly of a faith.
It comes when I'm on.
So often.
Yeah.
It comes every so often. You go, oh, look. Oh, now it's gone.
Yeah.
Where'd it go? I don't know. Can I put it in a jar? Yes, but it'll die.
Yes.
Punch a few holes in the lids of my faith, and then maybe it'll last for the night or something like that.
I have faith in people.
That's nice.
I think that it'll all be okay.
What?
It'll be okay.
Have you seen people's track record?
No, but it'll be fine because we'll all be dead soon.
What I love about that conversation, it wasn't exceptionally deep, but it didn't need to be. They were just trying to relate to each other, even though they have different values and views. And I kind of feel like, occasionally I'll listen to Sam Harris's podcast, or he recently had Ricky Gervais on there, or some of the figures that were involved in the new atheism movement of about a decade ago that have really softened to a degree and have really embraced sort of this friendly, compassionate approach to, and that's not across the board, but I do feel like we're at a place culturally now where finding commonality between people who are atheists and people who are religious, I feel like it's easier to bridge that gap than it was a while ago. And I feel like a conversation like this really showcases that because, it wasn't long ago someone like a Seth MacFarlane or a Ricky Gervais were openly combative to even discussions about faith. And here you have them kind of trying to find ways to relate to each other's spirituality, which I felt like was pretty interesting.
It's interesting to watch the parallel of that happening, almost like the intellectual discourse is softening and maybe coming a little bit more, friendly, more academic on the intellectual side. But while at the same time, the cultural Christianity, partisan Christianity is getting more and more angry and divided. You know what I mean? It's it's tougher for a cultural Christian, evangelical, and a liberal to have a civil dialogue. But now an atheist and an intellectual atheist and intellectual, theologian can have a very friendly and positive dialogue. It's just interesting to see the kind of ebb and flow of the cultural dynamic,
Yeah.
That has changed because, like you said, and my experience with particularly Gervais's expression of atheism has been very hostile and even dismissive of faith in the past. And obviously Colbert is a pretty winsome personality to bring that sort of attitude too. But it is interesting to see for him to say, I have no problem with faith, which is what he said there. I don't think that's something that Gervais would have said a few years ago. Right. Seems like he did have a problem with it.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's what I found kind of refreshing about it. And he was actually eager to engage on common ground. Like we can both feel you call it nature, you call it creation, I call it nature, but we both experience a similar sense of awe. And yeah, like you said, a couple years ago, someone like Gervais wouldn't even make an effort to find common ground with someone.
And somebody who's a believer would have to protect that with hard boundaries to say, like, I will not be wavered with your unbelief. I believe staunchly, right? And now Colbert's going, hey, if we're honest, my faith has doubts, and I can meet you in the middle on some of those doubts. Now I come back to the side of faith, and then Gervais says, I don't believe in a creator, but I can meet you in the middle on the side of wonder of nature, and like, it's interesting that they're trying to find that moment of we're together in this moment. Now we end up on other sides in other areas, but like an effort to be honest and transparent and vulnerable to say, like, maybe there is something bigger that I don't know. Like Gervais, like saying, like, kind of admitting, like, maybe there is. I don't think there is, but maybe, like that's a softening that is unprecedented.
Yeah, because he even said, like, it's an evidence thing for him, not an ideological one. You know what I mean? It's not this hostility, this open hostility to religion. It's that he needs evidence to believe, which is a totally different posture, but one that opens up a conversation about what even constitutes evidence, Right. So, and
it feels, being willing to start there, being willing to accept that feels very biblical to me. Being willing to say, I also have felt wonder at nature. I can definitely relate to that. That's very similar to what Paul did when he saw the idol to an unknown God. Being willing to start with that commonality, like we can both feel this sense of wonder. We attribute this to different things. Let's start there and work that conversation out. I don't think Ricky Gervais is on the cusp of a spiritual transformation, but a conversation like that with Colbert couldn't hurt.
Yeah,
set it back.
Hillsong United let it off. Can you feel the wonder?
We cut the clip off before they went there, but John Baptiste immediately launched right into that.
Wonder by Hillsong United. All right, coming in number 3 this week, Devon Franklin announced he's producing a new biopic about Kirk Franklin, no relation. The film producer and author took to Instagram this week to announce the new project, and during the announcement, he jokingly compared the project to other recent music biopics, saying, if you think Bohemian Rhapsody is something, if you think Rocket Man is something, wait. Kirk Franklin has a pretty interesting personal story. After being abandoned by his mom, he was raised by an aunt who actually collected and sold aluminum cans to pay for his piano lessons as a child. Obviously, those lessons paid off, along with selling millions of albums and winning 14 Grammys. Kirk Franklin has collaborated with the likes of Chance the Rapper, Kanye, Tori Kelly, and countless others. Devon Franklin's company, Franklin Entertainment, has a pretty solid track record of late, producing the faith-based films Breakthrough, The Star, and Miracles from Heaven. It'll be interesting to see the Kirk Franklin biopic.
Yeah, it is an interesting story, and I think music biopics are obviously really kind of hot right now. But also, I just like Devon Franklin. You guys remember when he was on a few months back? That guy can preach. He can preach in an interview. I'm excited to see what he does with this Kirk Franklin movie.
We've been predicting for a while, and this is another more proof that the CCM cinematic universe is well underway. And if you stay through to the post-credit scene of this Kirk Franklin, if you sit through the credits all the way to the end, then you're going to see Kirk walk into a dark room, and somebody, let's say Carmen's going to walk out and say, Kirk Franklin, here to talk to you about the Dove Award initiative.
Carmen is Carmen's the Nick Fury character.
Carmen's going to be our Nick Fury. He's going to round them all up. But the problem is nobody knows how to tell him that they really find his music videos insufferable. They like the idea. They like the general idea, but whenever he leaves them, they're like, nice guy, but we got to do something about those music videos.
Can we replace him as the leader of this gang with like an Amy Grant or something?
We are blowing our entire budget on music videos. We have nothing left over.
You just created a 9-minute video for a 3-minute song, and in it, you are an old Western gunslinger for reasons that are never made clear, shooting actual demons. It's very confusing. It's very dark, and for some reason,
600 extras with props and costumes. We can't do that. We don't have this.
All right, coming in at number 2 this week, Katy Perry testified in a copyright infringement case involving Christian rapper Flame. This week, Katy Perry and her controversial producer, Dr. Luke, were among those who took the stand in the case that has now been going on since 2014, when Christian rapper Flame filed a suit that claimed Katy Perry's 2013 hit, Dark Horse, essentially ripped off his single, Joyful Noise, which he released in 2008. Flame's lawsuit also adds that, quote, the devoutly religious message of Joyful Noise has been irreparably tarnished by its association with the witchcraft, paganism, black magic, and Illuminati imagery evoked by in the same music in Dark Horse. Katy Perry's team has denied that they copied the track, claiming that they had never even heard the song. Their attorney said this about the bass line: this is a common musical building block used in many compositions, adding that Flame's team cannot monopolize that. Jury deliberations are beginning as we speak. Now, we will bring it to you folks.
Yes.
Let's listen to both songs, okay? So first up, we're going to listen to Flame's 2008 single, Joyful Noise. Here it is.
And I'm trying to lift them higher than the stars. I am not of this world like I'm from the planet Mars. I love to preach Jesus, you can read it in my bar. I'm pretty straightforward when I'm speaking about my Lord. He paid the sin price being beat by Roman guards. But when he resurrected, gave us
So I think the main thing they're disputing is that dun 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 dun.
Yeah,
all right, now
which I can hear. Okay,
here's Katy Perry's Dark Horse. Ready?
But you better choose carefully. I'm capable of anything, and everything. Make me your everything.
Oh man, I think
it's there.
Yeah, that's definitely just the beat. It's the beat.
That thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear it.
I mean, it's a little slowed down. It's 5 years later. My gut is a producer in the studio that Perry's label hired. You pull from inspiration, you pull from sources, you listen to things, you grab things, and I think it's in. I just think it's in. I think it was in the. I think it was in the producer's head somewhere. You know what I mean? I don't know that he's playing it and ripped it. I just think like at some point somebody might have heard that and said, "Oh, that's kind of cool vibe."
Well, that's the thing. When you hear it back to back, I mean that the core that the song is built on, like that little kind of riff, It is just a slowed down version. Chandler, you're in music production. You don't think the Flame has a case?
I mean, not really.
It's the exact same notes in a similar tone.
It is. I mean, it's easy to do that. Think of how many songs have the same chord progression, the same key. You know what I mean?
I've heard other songs and been like, oh, that does kind of remind me of that song.
And
but
also,
there wasn't a lawsuit.
It sounds like he's just ripping off everyone else. You know what I mean? Like his whole thing is ripped off from other people. It's just that he did it. He's ripping off 5 people instead of,
This is more shocking than you turning your back on Chili's for breadsticks.
Who did Flame rip off?
I mean, his flow sounds like, we could probably figure out all of the areas it's coming from. It sounds completely unoriginal.
Yeah, but inspiration and
style
is different than complete copyright infringement. Yeah. I mean, because the music nobody's suing designer for ripping off Future's style of rapping. That's not what we're talking here. That's just inspiration and emulation.
Yeah, sure.
But the actual track itself is intellectual property,
right?
And that sounds identical, but slowed down just a tweak to not be a complete rip.
One thing I will say is that I could be maybe sympathetic to the accusation of inspiration or accidental or otherwise.
Yeah,
but I feel like they overplay their hand a little bit when it comes to the association with witchcraft and paganism. Because that feels like, even if I could be kind of like on your side a little bit, then to take it, you gotta stay. You gotta keep the fight on solid ground.
Well, yeah, like, is your issue copyright infringement, or is your issue like now? Like, it sounds like now they're going, I want more damages because you've damaged my reputation or something. It's
no one thinks Flame. No one thinks Flame and Lecrae are into black magic or witchcraft because Katy Perry used a similar beat in a single. That just seems like is this about copyright infringement, or is this about something honestly absurd?
I mean, to the rebuttal of the lawyer saying it's a common bass line. I mean, there's only so many notes on the thing. It's not just the bass line. It's the exact syncopation. It's the exact tone. It's the, it's not just like boom, 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 boom. I mean, that's not that we ripped off. It's the melodic.
So that's a melody that is easy to follow on, in my opinion.
All right, coming in at number 1 this week on the hot list, the first trailer has been released for the upcoming Mr. Rogers movie, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. The movie tells a true story of an Esquire journalist played by Matthew Rhys, who profiled Mr. Rogers and found himself changed by a new friend along the way. Fred Rogers was also an ordained Presbyterian minister, and in the actual magazine feature, God, faith, and especially prayer played a prominent role. At one point in the story, the writer, who is openly skeptical of his subject, decides to ask Mr. Rogers about what color he sees the painted sky on set as, because Mr. Rogers is colorblind. He writes, quote, "All I have to do is be nice for my allotted half hour today, and then I'll just take the rest of the day off. But no, Mr. Rogers is a stubborn man. So on the day I ask about the color in his sky, he has already gotten up at 5:30, already prayed for those who have asked for his prayers, already read, already written, already swum, already weighed himself, already sent out cards for the birthdays he never forgets, already called any number of people who depend on him for comfort, already cried when he read the letter of a mother whose child was buried with a picture of Mr. Rogers in his casket, already played for 20 minutes with an autistic boy who has come with his father all the way from Boise, Idaho to meet him. By the end of the story, he is praying with Mr. Rogers. And oh, by the way, Mr. Rogers in this film is played by Tom Hanks. Here's a clip from the trailer.
We are trying to give the world positive ways of dealing with their feelings.
Yeah? Like what?
There are many things you can do. You can play all the lowest keys on a piano at the same time.
You love broken people. Like me.
Sometimes we have to ask for help. And that's okay. I think the best thing we can do is to let people know that each one of them is precious.
I will say this. I was putting together the show notes late last night, and I wanted to find a little snippet from the original magazine feature that ran in Esquire back in the day that this film is based on, this interaction between the skeptical journalist and Mr. Rogers. And man, I got sucked back into, I had read that story years ago and I got sucked back into it. And like, faith isn't just a part of Mr. Rogers' story. It is the story. Like, everything he did in his career was motivated by his faith and his desire to express love and kindness, particularly to children. And I would encourage anyone to go read that story. You can, if you Google Esquire Mr. Rogers, you can find it. But I am through. I can't wait for this for the movie.
One thing I really liked about the trailer, I think that there's kind of two ways of doing a biopic like this. One would be what we'll call the Rami Malek method, when he played Freddie Mercury. It was such an attempt at a complete recreation, at mimicry, that it almost felt a little bit like a Saturday Night Live performance at some points. It was like so clearly trying to ape exactly what Freddie Mercury did and said, was like, and that's one way to do it. But I like how Hanks is he doesn't look a ton like Fred Rogers. He certainly doesn't sound a lot like him. He has a much lower voice than Rogers did. And instead of trying to talk a little bit high in a higher register, he just goes for a really good performance that gets at the spirit of what Fred Rogers was and his kindness that really comes across, and I think makes for a much better tribute to the overall character. I'm
wondering though, because like I watched the trailer and everybody on the internet's like, oh, so moved and it's amazing, whatever. And I'm watching Tom Hanks. I mean, did you see like Being Mr. Banks, the movie or something, where he plays Walt Disney? He's the exact same as when he was Walt Disney. So I'm sitting there going like, it's Walt Disney wearing a cardigan. You know what I mean? Like he's perfect. He's great. I'm just going, I kind of wish there was a little bit more uniquely Mr. Rogers in his performance, you know?
Yeah. And that's to a degree when I feel like there's a handful of actors that you only see the actor, you never see the character really. Like, like you could put them on a pretty short list with like a Tom Cruise or like a Brad Pitt. Like it's always Tom Cruise. You know what I mean?
Well, when he did Walt Disney, you started, because we don't know Walt Disney, you know what I mean? We just know him from some clips and pictures and things like that. So his mannerisms and his demeanor, you start to say, I'm watching Walt Disney. I mean, like you really do buy in. The problem is his Mr. Rogers is identical. And I'm going, maybe over the course of a movie, it fades away and you become less aware of that. But when I see the trailer, I see Tom Hanks playing Walt Disney, you know what I mean? So.
Like the person who I feel like is like a face we all know but really nailed it was Meryl Streep when she did that film about Julia Childs. Like even though she's one of the most recognizable figures in Hollywood, I feel like she disappeared into that role. And like she had the voice, she kind of looked like her. I feel like that's an example of
she's another level, because like her character as Winthrop or whatever her name is in The Devil Wears Prada, she personified that. And now her in Big Little Lies with I know she has fake teeth in it, whatever, but you do not think of Anna Wintour or Devil Wears Prada at all. You know what I mean? Like it's just like unrecognizable, her performance. But Tom Hanks has kind of slipped into old gentle Tom Hanks mode. And I just don't know that he's kind of buying into the range.
It works though.
It works. He's amazing.
It worked for me. It has that. He has that little bit of a Pittsburgh accent that I think kind of helps mask it a little bit, which I don't believe Tom Hanks actually has. Yeah. I can't remember where Hanks grows up at. I'll be interested to see that too, because I remember thinking I didn't really care for the movie, but I remember when I saw the trailer for Vice, just seeing Christian Bale and be like, oh, that's Christian Bale in a fat suit.
See,
when
I
watched the movie, it really did. Like I said, I didn't love the movie, but his performance I did stop thinking that's Christian Bale.
Yeah, the content of the movie wasn't the level that it could have been, but his performance is unbelievable.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
You
lose. You would think you're watching Dick Cheney at one point. You're right. You lose the actor in the middle of it. Nobody cares about this information, this trivia about Mr. Rogers. Nobody cares.
Great.
Relevant's last office was in a part of Metro Orlando called Winter Park. Across the street from us was the baseball stadium for Rollins College. Behind it, all around us was Rollins College.
Oh yeah.
Most famous alumnus of Rollins College is Fred Rogers, Mr. Rogers. And there's a barber shop on the corner that just put up a big old Mr. Rogers mural on the side of the building, because that's his old stomping grounds.
Yeah. Number 2 is Frankie Bennigan's, the founder of Bennigan's. It's really prestigious and will be featured prominently on Taste of Love. So good for you, Rob.
Well, Bob Appleby also graduated from the Culinary Institute there at Rollins. So,
Olive Garden was a huge one. She was perfect.
Big dumb. No, it's Jim Olive.
First name
and,
last name Chi. Yeah, Chi. Yeah.
Jose Chi, Jim Olive and his famous garden.
Olive's Garden.
All right. Olive's Garden. Yeah. There's a typo. We
already printed the sign, so we're Olive Garden.
Yeah, it's Olive Garden now. Not Jim Olive.
There's no
garden.
Olives or garden here. I'm like, I know it's Olive's Garden made a lot more sense, but
it's not a Logan's Roadhouse situation.
The sign is mounted. So what are we going to do?
That's right.
But just give enough breadsticks, they'll forget about it. Distract them with breadsticks.
the life motto of Chandler. Distract him with breadsticks. That'll do it for.
It's the hot list. The hot list. It's sizzling.
It is sizzling. All right, stay tuned. Up next, Jamie Bell joins us.
I'll never be sorry. I'll never be sorry. I'll never be sorry for loving you. I'll never be sorry. I'll never be sorry. I'll never be sorry for loving you.
You're listening to Old Dominion. The song is Never Be Sorry. Well, today's show is brought to you by Squarespace. Whether you need a landing page, a beautiful gallery, a professional blog, or an online store, it's all included with your Squarespace website. Creating a website with Squarespace is a simple, intuitive process. You can add and arrange your content and features with a click of a mouse. You can even design a best-in-class online store with Squarespace's award-winning templates, customizable settings, and more, all without a single plugin. Including all the tools you need to track inventory, process orders, and send custom emails in one intuitive interface, Squarespace Commerce allows you to understand every aspect of your business. Right now, Squarespace is offering Relevant Podcast listeners a special deal. You can go to squarespace.com/relevant for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch your site, use the offer code RELEVANT to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. I've built many sites with Squarespace. Love them. Well, Jamie Bell has starred in movies including Rocketman, The Fantastic Four, Snowpiercer, and this weekend, his latest film, Skin, hits theaters. The movie, from acclaimed indie studio A24, tells the true story of a white supremacist neo-Nazi who risks his life to leave his past of hate behind and seek redemption. Jesse recently spoke with Jamie about the movie and why it's so important to confront difficult topics in movies. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so I was really excited just because I remember when this story was in the news about this guy who was part of this, basically like a neo-Nazi white supremacist gang, wanted to leave, and like anti-hate activists kind of took him under his wing, and eventually were even able to get these tattoos that he had all over his face removed. It was such an interesting story, but I wanted to start talking with Jamie about how do you take a character that, you know, is this repugnant? You know, someone who is a leader of a neo-Nazi gang, and actually make an audience feel empathy for them. And, you know, he had to really look at, well, what caused someone to be so damaged to think like this? Here's how he explained it.
I mean, it's very tricky, I think, because, you know, I'm also a human, and I have my own kind of beliefs, and I have my own relationship with forgiveness, and my own relationship with compassion and empathy, and it certainly, portraying this character certainly challenged all those things. I think what was important from the outset was trying to not judge the character. A lot of the time in acting, they always say, like, you can't approach your character from a place of judgment. You have to approach him as a human first. So I think it was always trying to understand that underneath this ferocity and this violence and this anger was intense insecurity, intense vulnerability, fear, remembering that this is where all these beliefs and this hatred really stem from.
I really like that approach because he's taking, you know, someone that represents like a horrible, horrible movement and ideology, but looking at the human at the core of it, and sees how damaged this person is to try to, adopt this stuff into his life. You know, but the other thing that I feel like, particularly for our audience, where I was excited to talk to Jamie, is because ultimately what leads to the kind of the core of this story is love and kindness to people. You know, this guy's actively harassing and committing acts of violence against people he hates, but those are the people that end up saving him. Here's how Jamie explained it.
Well, this is, I mean, obviously a very heavy film. I mean, it's certainly asking a lot of an audience. But as you mentioned, I think within that, it does kind of really highlight and spotlight the kindness of other people. I mean, people like Darryl Lamont Jenkins, who is featured in the film, is played by Mike Coulter. Without his help and without his efforts, Brian would not have been able to reform his life and get a new shot, a different kind of a life. In the same regard, in terms of the tattoo removal, that was the funds for that were provided by an anonymous donor, purely out the kindness of their own hearts. I mean, I think if there is a kind of a message of hope in this film, it is of that you can choose these things in your life choose a kind of negative path and make bad choices. But the hope in humanity is that someone will always be there to give you another shot. And I think this film highlights that quite beautifully.
It is a really, I mean, the film, you know, for any of our listeners who want to go see it this weekend, it's rated R, and it's very unflinching.
Do they show the removal of the tattoos?
I don't know if that is in the film. But
JB Bell actually got those tattoos and then had them removed.
He's a method actor.
No, but in real life, I mean, this is heavy. But in real life, the guy who this is based on actually tried. At one point was so distraught about the life choices he made, they actually tried to remove them himself with like acid.
Oh, no.
Oh, wow.
No.
And that sounds rated R.
But then, you know, these people, out of acts of kindness, you know, people who are racial minorities who he was persecuting came to his aid. And an anonymous donor gave tens of thousands of dollars for the removal and even cosmetic surgery. And that's why it's such a powerful story. And that's why I wanted to ask Jamie, because like this is unflinching. This is a hard story, but an important one. You know, this movie's played at a bunch of festivals. It's gotten rave reviews, you know, prior to the release, the official release. And I wanted to ask Jamie what it was like and what other people's reactions to a movie like this is.
I think people have believed in its authenticity. I think people have kind of been relieved that, you know, we're not letting people off the hook. I think in certainly a lot of my interviews, there's been some genuine discussion, some genuine kind of back and forth discussion about where we are as a people and where we're headed and why is something like this important and what can people, you know, very much like the discussion we've been having. So I think it really has... For those people who are kind of brave enough to go and see it, I think they've left with hopefully a sense of hope for the future, and that even in the darkest of times and in the darkest of places, there can be a little bit of hope there for someone.
Yeah. So the last thing I wanted to talk to Jamie here about was, you know, I think, you know, when you look at stories of redemption. You know, like I feel like that's something we always look for in the content we want to cover. Like, is there a redeeming quality? Is there redemption? And he really spoke to that. But also, there's a sense of urgency. You know, the true story that is based on, you know, took place about 10 years ago. And since then, the cultural climate and the political climate and it has really evolved. And even though, you know, it's a slightly different time period from when the things in the movie take place to what's happening now, you know, I wanted to ask him, like, how does he think it can help kind of inform how we see the world now, especially when there's things like Charlottesville, there are things like, you know, neo-Nazi and white supremacist movements, you know, kind of cropping up again. And here's what he said about the importance of the movie.
I think if you look at the people who are on the kind of streets now, they don't look like Brian. They don't look like skinheads with boots and, you know, bomber jackets and patches and such. They're kind of wearing suits now.
Khakis.
You know, like they're wearing regular clothes. They're kind of hiding in plain sight. It's much more complicated. They're hiding behind the internet. They're hiding behind this or that. So I think even now, like there's a new kind of generation of this that's coming through and being emboldened and everything else. So, you know, I mean, in doing all the research I did and referencing the Southern Poverty Law Center and looking up testimony of other people who've gotten out and reading books on this kind of ideology and stuff like that, you know, it was very frightening because so much of it is very reminiscent of things that are happening today still. So it's very scary. And this film is kind of hopefully an urgent kind of wake-up call.
Wow.
It's a you know, a bold. I remember when I came across this trailer a couple of weeks ago, like it's jarring. It's you know, it's.
But he makes a good point about how while his character and the movement that he's portraying was almost like visually graphic in its hatred, now the same hatred is there. It's just they're carrying tiki torches and wearing khakis. You know what I mean? It's just interesting that it's, you know, hopefully, you know, it's easy to say I'm not like that guy, but, you know, it's showing.
I think it creates I think these stories are really important to tell. I think that the danger, and I'm glad that he's aware of this, and then hopefully the filmmakers were as well, is that it can create this sort of sense of well, that was in the past. That was skinheads. That was people who have swastikas on their arms.
Right.
And you can miss the reality of what it looks like today, which is it's undergone a very aesthetically helpful to its cause rebranding that doesn't involve those things.
Yeah, because it's easy to say, like, I mean, no, the swastika stuff is still there, and the overt visual hate is still there, but you know, it's couched in so many more deceptive ways now. It's almost like scarier.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, yeah, it's scary seeing, because, you know, if you've seen him in any other movies, he's not a very big guy, but he put on tons of weight and muscle in this movie to look like, you know, almost so similar to like Edward Norton in like American History X. It's scary imagery, but what's even scarier is that the person you're walking down the street next to could maintain those same views. And like Jamie was saying in that last clip, they're hiding right there in plain sight. You know?
There you go. All right. Well, that was Jamie Bell. Make sure, well, if you're up for it, to check out the new film from A24, his new film, Skin. It hits theaters today. All right. Stay tuned. Up next, it's our Listener of the Week.
Explore Fuller Seminary's Master of Divinity program, available online or on campus, and learn from some of the world's leading biblical scholar practitioners. Study online and apply what you're learning to your context without leaving your ministry. Whatever your vocational goals, Fuller's Master of Divinity will help you take the next steps in your vocation formation. Learn more, visit fuller.edu/MDIV. That's fuller.edu/MDIV.
You're listening to Licky Lee, song is Neon. Now, before we get to our Listener of the Week, I have something to bring up. I got a breaking news. I got a press release while we've been recording the podcast.
Okay.
This is news to me. Okay. And so we get hundreds a week, press releases about new albums and things like that. Straight to the trash. We don't even look at them, most of them. But this one caught my eye. Mac Powell and the Family Reunion just released a debut album called Back Again. Mac Powell, and the opening line says, Mac Powell and the Family Reunion released their full-length debut album, Back Again, led by former lead singer of Grammy-winning, multi-platinum selling group Third Day. The new band is Southern Roots and American Rock, blah, 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 blah. It goes on from there. Did you know that he left Third Day? I didn't.
And it sounds like he left Third Day to start a new Third Day.
Band. That's
Southern Rock Roots. That's what Third Day is. That's basically him telling Third Day.
Well, if you look at it, no. And they're touring too, by the way. This is no small undertaking. It's more along the lines of Creedence Clearwater Revival, James Taylor, the Eagles, the Stones even, and then some country. I'm not hearing any Christian stuff.
He's going mainstream.
He's going mainstream. And I'm going...
So, how would you feel?
Well, number one, this isn't a side project. This is what we got to double down on here. This isn't Mac Powell from Third Day, like doing a little side thing to kind of scratch another artistic itch. He's the former lead singer of Third Day. He left the Christian industry to go and sell his soul to the devil.
Shame. He's probably into witchcraft and the Illuminati
also,
stuff.
How do you feel being one of the guys in Third Day? And
the Family Reunion.
The Family Reunion. The Family.
Mac Powell, the Family Reunion. So now he's finally back together with the people he originally loved.
And the people he actually loved. Yeah.
Oh, I can't believe it. But this has got to fit into the CCM universe somewhere. I'm guessing he's the guy who was a good guy and becomes a villain.
Backslider.
You know, he's the guy who like switches sides.
Yeah.
He's like
or he's sort of like, I was going to say, he's
Mysterio.
Thanos. He has like a complicated idea of morality that, the other members of the universe are going to have to reckon with. Because, listen, Amy Grant's dabbled in crossover world. They've all thought about it.
Yeah, but she didn't like leave it straight up. Mac Powell is the former lead singer of Third Day. This is groundbreaking.
Yeah, unbelievable.
We'll get him on the horn in no time.
Get him on the blower. Chandler, get Mac Powell on the blower after Listener of the Week.
Now
we got a great Listener of the Week right here.
Now the question is, does Third Day do what Audio Adrenaline and Newsboys did and said, hey, we have this iconic frontman, he left, we're just going to slide in like Kevin Max or somebody and just keep going as third day.
Yeah, that's probably, well, I don't know.
I don't know, man. Mac Powell's voice.
Martin,
is
what's the
third
guy
day.
from Delirious? Martin Smith. Martin Smith's
Smith,
waiting by the phone right now. He is ready for the call and to become the lead singer third day.
Wow. All right. Well, it's time for...
You listen to the show, and it's time to get to know you. It's the listener of the week.
A little behind the scenes action. Normally what we do is like in between segments, we'll get the person on the phone, talk to them, prep them, and then bring them on live. We have not done that because I got distracted by Mac Powell. So live for the first time, please help me welcome our listener of the week, Amelia Franklin.
Hello.
Hi, welcome. I'm glad the tech
to the
worked.
show.
Welcome to the show. Wow, look at that. Tell us where you're calling us from.
So I'm calling from Lynchburg, Virginia. I just moved here from Buffalo, New York.
Lynchburg, named after all the famous lynchings that they have there.
Dark.
I know it's a pretty unfortunate name, but apparently it's named after the guy who founded the town, which made me feel a little bit better.
Bob Lynch?
Bob Lynch.
Yeah.
Also known for his salad dressing.
Amelia, how does Lynchburg compare to Buffalo so far? How are the wings compared to Buffalo? Have you gone to Buffalo Wild Wing down there and did a little taste test?
We have stayed far away from the wings down here. I don't even want to know what is going on in these pizza houses, but other food is good. So
I love how you said pizza houses. It's like these dens of iniquity where they make things that they're calling wings, but if it doesn't come from Anchor Bar or whatever you guys eat up there in Buffalo, it's not the real thing. Am I nailing that, Amelia? Is that how you're feeling right now?
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna stay away from the wings. We'll focus on the barbecue and other famous Lynchburg eateries for now.
We'll focus on
Like
the barbecue,
Ruby Tuesdays,
the racial injustice.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
So did I catch? Why did you move? Like what brought you to Lynchburg?
My husband is gonna go to Liberty in the fall, so we moved down here for that.
Are you gonna be living in the family housing on campus?
No, I have a real job, so I am funding the apartment for now.
What do you do for a living, Amelia? What's your real job?
My real job is I am a proofreader for a technical printing company.
That sounds like a real job.
That's very real.
Your husband's job right now, his job is to be a student, obviously. So it's not like he has a not real job. He just is.
He's found a sugar mama, is what you're saying.
Yeah, he's in the fake world. I'm in the real world. Where
do you resent him at all? Because you sound like you kind of do.
I was going to say, should we get him on? Do we need to have a little counseling session here?
We can figure this out.
No,
Listen.
I'm super happy for him. I'm really excited.
Listen, Amelia, go to your husband and prep your Enneagram numbers because we need to do some hard
deep
talk
dive
here.
Listen, I tried the Annie F. Downs Annie S. Summer and I still have questions, so I don't know. I can't answer that.
Oh, really? Oh, I wish Annie was here. She could probably help you.
That's okay. We'll just have to deal with your marriage issues at a different time because you've sent us some great story. You've teased us up some.
Yeah.
Some
So
good story.
our listener of the week, every week or so, we ask you guys on Twitter to tell us a little bit about yourself. 3 interesting facts, and Jesse very diligently goes through them and finds ones that strikes his fancy. Amelia sent us a few. I will read them, and you can tell us. You can expound on them. Oh, by the way, keep it safe for little ears because my 9-year-old son Cohen is on the podcast today. Say hi, Cohen.
Hi, Cohen.
There you go. Okay, so your first fact: I went through a phase where I was really interested in the Amish and even dressed up Amish for a show at Sight and Sound in Lancaster, Pennsylvania to, quote, see what it was like.
Testing the waters. I like it. He didn't
Do
commit.
tell.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not generally for cultural appropriation.
Right.
So tell us what.
I will say this: there's 100% chance the Amish will not hear this unless someone's like blasting in a loudspeaker over.
No. They have that 1 year where they go and live in the big city. You know.
Yeah, they're
gonna
really
be
spring
offended by
on.
that.
But you kind of had the reverse of that because you, instead of taking 1 year away from being an Amish, took a little time to try out being Amish yourself.
Yes.
How'd it go?
Yes.
Was it a genuine interest? Like you thought maybe this is the life for me. Let me test it out, or were you kind of making fun of them?
No. Was not making fun. I went through a phase where I was really interested in them, and I thought, like I was going to marry an Amish person and I was going to become Amish.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
You were
like I was
really
just
in.
really interested by their plain living, and I,
Your life would be
internet
very
can be-
different now if you marry that Amish guy, because you would
Yeah,
not
life would
be
be super
working and
different.
supporting him. You wouldn't be reading
Yes.
technical manuals. You wouldn't even know what that was because they don't have technical.
Yes. So I would like read all the books, the romance novels. We would go to Lancaster.
I
every few
wondered if the
years.
Christian romance novels were part of the equation here. Wow.
Yep. So we went and I got a bonnet as a joke from a gift shop, and I was with my family and they were like, what if you dressed up Amish like when we go to Sight and Sound? And so I don't know if I was Amish in my dress. I think I was more Mennonite because I don't have like their aprons. So I just wore like a plainer outfit and a long skirt, and I went to Sight and Sound, and some people took my photo. So I think I pulled it off.
Well, I okay. It seems like you went pretty deep here. Like you weren't just reading the novels. Okay, you actually dressed up and dabbled in Amishism for for a day. But what dissuaded you? Why did you leave the lifestyle behind and marry a non-Amish heathen?
No, yeah, honestly, I think I realized I wouldn't really be able to read the Bible for myself if I was Amish, wouldn't have a job. I had zero connections to the Amish world. So I didn't know how I was about to like wedge myself in there and get to know people. So, and then I went to college, so kind of faded away.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know if I know how the Amish works. I don't think you can just walk into the village one day and be like, "Hey guys, I'm here. Where's my cabin or whatever?" Yeah, I think you're right. I think you made the right process.
That was
my cow.
That was the M. Night Shyamalan movie, The Village.
Yeah,
and
that's what I was thinking of.
You go in, you can't get out. Yeah. Second fact: one time, my college dorm housekeeper threw my mattress topper in the ravine behind our dorm. She didn't just throw it away; she threw it in the ravine. Why?
And also, that's a real moment. You can't just throw something away in a fit of anger. A mattress is a commitment.
It's like that episode of The Office where the hotel just incinerates Kevin's shoes. Like they didn't just throw them out; they put them in an incinerator. Why was your mattress topper thrown into a ravine?
Okay, so one day I was washing my mattress topper. It was new. It was really nice. It wasn't like the basic egg crate one. It was like a really nice one.
Yeah.
And so I was washing it in the dorm laundry room, and I went back to go get it, and it was gone. And so I'm like, where's my mattress topper? Like sometimes in college, if someone's taking too long to get their stuff, you'll put their things on top of the laundry machine, but it wasn't there. And so I'm looking around, and I see our dorm housekeeper, and I was like, Aurelia, have you seen my mattress topper? And she was like, oh, and I was like, oh man. And she's like, yeah, I saw it in the laundry machine, and it was so crinkled up and wrinkled. I tried to lay it flat. I put some things on it to unwrinkle it. I stretched it out in the lobby, and I couldn't get the wrinkles out of it. And so I put it in a garbage bag and I threw it in the ravine behind the dorm.
It's like she's disposing evidence. What? It's like she's a member of like the Soprano crime family. And it's like, well, this didn't work out. I better shove it in a garbage bag and put it in a ravine. Like,
and also, like, why were you going through my laundry, Aurelia?
Also, why not just put it back in the washer, and whoever clearly put it there in the first place would come and get it? I mean, make it your problem, not her problem.
Or do what I do with my trash, which is either just shove it down a storm drain or drive down the highway and throw it out the window when no one's looking. There's easy solutions that don't involve
destroy
ravines.
the evidence. Okay, last fact. My family did a ride and tide trip in Colorado where you did a 3-hour horse ride through the mountains followed by whitewater rafting. I'll wait to tell you how, which is now. But the ride ended with 2 family members dehorsed and my mom screaming, "In the name of Jesus!" through the mountains.
Dehorsed.
Please tell us.
Okay, so we go to Colorado to visit my dad's family. That's where he's from. And we're from Buffalo. We don't do a ton of outdoorsy things, but, we're trying. So my dad's like, let's do this ride and tide. And so we do the 3-hour horse ride. My brother's there, my parents, and our leader. And we're coming down the mountain, and I can see, the ranch down below. And she's like, just, there's some like bush birds around here, and sometimes they scare the horses, but like it's fine. We're like, okay, thanks for telling us. And also I was like 10, so we were young. And so we're going down, and all of a sudden a bird like flies up and scares our leader's horse. And so that leader's horse starts freaking out. And like, just from my perspective, because my perspective was the best one to be in, I see my brother's horse take off up the mountain. And I just see him like fly off. And then I see my dad's horse start rearing, and my dad flips off and is like rolling around because the horse is rearing and he's like trying not to get stepped on. And then my mom flies by, and my mom is like a city girl, first time on a horse, first time in the mountains, screaming in the name of Jesus at the top of her lungs as her horse is like racing through the mountains.
That's pretty good.
And my horse is perfectly still, and I'm just like, good
Been
boy,
there, done
stay
that.
there.
Yeah, your horse is like, whatever.
Yes. So that is what happened on our family vacation. Everybody survived, just a few scratches. My mom's horse, like it was a racehorse that just got scared and took off. And my brother he jumped off of his horse because he didn't want to go back up the mountain. But
I feel like what happened with those 4 horses is like kind of every group of friends when something goes wrong. There's the one that keeps it together. There's the one that just takes off. There's the one that starts thrashing.
Yeah.
Was the prayer effective though? Did the horses calm down?
It didn't stop. That was crazy. It like stopped it. And she's like, I told you, it always works.
Well, it doesn't. That horse uniquely doesn't respond to whoa or stop, but literally only prayer commands. In the name of Jesus, stop.
Yeah.
And then it stops. Yeah.
Good Christian horse.
Good Christian horse.
Christian horse.
Yeah. That's funny.
That's. Do you feel like your time studying the ways of the Amish, who famously use a lot of horses, did that prepare you at all for this?
Yeah, I felt we had that deep connection of woman to animal, and I think that's why he didn't take off when everything happened. Is he felt horses can understand a person's intentions, I guess. So he knew. I was in.
What a pro.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for being our listener of the week, Amelia.
Yep. Have a good one.
All right. If you want to be our listener of the week in a future episode, hit us up on Twitter @Relevant Podcast and tell us interesting things about yourself. Jesse, are there any particular things you like to look out for, keep your eye out for?
I do. I usually, Amelia could tell you this. Usually I'll kind of nix one of them and I'll say, give me a funny or embarrassing story. And she came back with this great Amish story. So
that's pretty good.
Just tease me out one that's like funny or embarrassing right out of the gate, and it'll probably catch my eye. Now, the other thing too, I get a lot of gross stuff. A lot of people will send me something like, these are pretty good, but these are kind of gross. Stay away from like bathroom stuff. That's all I'll say. I'm looking for funny and embarrassing, but we want to keep
little ears.
Yeah,
we don't want to know about
reasonably clean.
We don't want to know about what happened after you went to Chi-Chi's last Thursday.
Exactly.
We're not looking for that.
We've all seen that episode of A Taste to Love that ends in that ends in stomach flu.
Chandler's like, how could you betray me like this?
There's a reason the health department shut down Chi-Chi's worldwide. It's something was bad in that. They did one big bad batch of salsa, and oh boy, it's listen, if it's about what happened to you the night after you ate that bad batch of Chi-Chi's salsa, save it, because I never want to hear it. Some of us experience it firsthand.
Oh man! All right.
Some of us experienced that episode. So for some people, that episode hits real close to home.
Yeah,
real close.
Too close. Yeah. Oh my goodness! I can't wait for the debut of Taste of Love on the Food Channel coming this fall.
I'm so excited.
9:00 every Wednesday night.
I'll just binge watch every episode the second that it comes onto Netflix.
Look at that. Look at the generational divide. I'm sitting there saying we're going to tune in every Wednesday night at 9. And he's like, I'll wait till it goes to Netflix. I'll just binge it.
Yeah. That's what I do with everything.
How do TV networks even exist anymore? I don't even know. But
when there's Netflix.
That's right.
And Amazon Prime Video.
All right. Many thanks to Jamie Bell for joining us. His new film, Skin, hits theaters today. Go check it out. And thanks also to Squarespace for making the episode possible. Remember, you can go to squarespace.com/relevant for a free trial. And when you are ready to launch your site, use the offer code RELEVANT. Save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Hey, while you're, in your podcast app right now, head over, if you like the show, head over and leave a review and a rating for us. It helps other people find it. And also make sure to tune in Monday. Season 2 of Unedited with Cameron Strang drops with my special guest, Christine Kane, on Monday's episode. It's an unbelievable conversation you won't want to miss. Oh, and also, make sure you subscribe to Relevant Daily, our weekday. Every weekday, we're bringing you 10 minutes of what's happening at the intersection of faith and culture, keeping your finger on the pulse. Make sure to subscribe.
But before we wrap up, Cameron, I need to give a shout out to Christina S. Christina S. is converting.
Hey, this should be a new segment. At the very end of the show, we do shout outs.
Yeah. Okay.
Shout outs.
Yeah, it could be a shout out to anything too. This week, I want to give my shout out to Christina S. She heard me railing on the postal system, and she's converting me. She's making me an advocate of the postal service and receiving physical letters because she went online and found my address. Okay.
Oh, my word.
I'm not going to tell people how she found it. She explained it in this nice letter, and the letter actually it's a card. It's a card and it appears handwritten. But the thing is, it's actually a service she uses that will handwrite a letter for you to deliver it because she is in Bulgaria. She's listening from Bulgaria.
Oh, wow. We wonder how the Russians hack our electoral system. Bulgarians
I want to know.
wonder she
are
found
finding your home
address.
address.
Comrade Putin up there. He has it all.
Yeah, I have actually been to Bulgaria. I've been to Sofia. It's a beautiful city, beautiful country. And she was kind enough. She's listening from Bulgaria. She wanted to show how great receiving a physical card could be. So she found my address online. She used a service called Postable that wrote me a handwritten card and it got delivered in the mail. Christina S., thank you. I received your letter. That was very, very kind of you and I appreciate it. Shout out to you.
That's
and
crazy.
Bulgaria. Shout out to Bulgaria.
Shout out to the postal system.
Yeah.
All right. On that note, we'll wrap things up. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Cohen Strang.
I'm Chandler String.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm Tyler Huckabee.
I'm Bob Appleby. All right. We'll see you on Tuesday. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Thank you for listening to the Relevant Podcast. If you like what you heard, be sure to leave us a review on iTunes. Check out other shows from the Relevant Podcast Network in the podcast section at relevantmagazine.com. And while you're there, browse exclusive podcast merchandise at our online store. Make sure to subscribe to Relevant Magazine. Info is available at relevantmagazine.com/subscribe.
Applebee's, you've slidered your way into my heart.
Relevant Podcast Network.
Time is precious, and so are our pets. So time with our pets is extra precious. That's why we started Dutch. Dutch provides 24/7 access to licensed vets with unlimited virtual visits and follow-ups for up to 5 pets. You can message a vet at any time and schedule a video visit the same day. Our vets can even prescribe medication for many ailments, and shipping is always free. With Dutch, you'll get more time with your pets and year-round peace of mind when it comes to their vet care. Go to Dutch.com to get vet care that is always there for just $92 a year.